a high level, webhooks are automated messages that are sent from an app when something happens. These messages are then received by a target system that should know how to understand and take action on that message. What this means in HCL Launch is that applications and generic processes can be configured to send payloads to specific URLs when an event occurs in a process lifecycle, such as process success or failure. And the actual message that we're sending out can range from being a simple static payload or something more complex that is conditionally modified based on the context of the process. This allows for some pretty interesting use cases to be set up, such as notifying a messaging app when a deployment starts, or even automatically creating a service ticket if a failure occurs. And like most objects in HCL Launch, the webhook objects have their own set of permissions, which help enable fine-grained access control to webhook configuration. So let's take a look at webhooks in action. Now, webhooks consist of two main parts, the first being the webhook template. Webhook templates define both the body of the message that we're going to send out, as well as the event type that that message body is applicable to. These are defined on the Settings tab, specifically the webhook template section under Automation. A webhook template consists of a unique name, a description, the body, as well as the event type, which consists mainly of steps along a process, including if the tied up approval completes or fails, or if the process succeeds or fails. The body is resolved using the Apache Velocity engine, which allows you to reference HCL Launch objects in the actual message. You can see here that we're referencing specific version names, component names, descriptions, and even the outcome of the process. The second part of a webhook actually is where we trigger or set up the trigger for the webhook to run. This is part of either a process under the configuration tab where you can set up a webhook, or under an application configuration tab you can set up webhooks as well. For both of those, you specify a specific URL that the message will be posted to, the event type that you want to send when you're running a process on that application environment or when you're running that specific process, as well as the actual template that you're going to send out, which you can choose from the set of templates that are applicable to the event type that you're specifying. Unique to application webhooks is the actual environment that that webhook will be pertinent to. You can select one or more environments that will actually send out that webhook when you run a process on it. You can see here that I have several webhooks set up on a couple different environments. I can identify a specific environment in my application and choose to highlight the specific webhooks configured on that environment. And I can modify existing webhooks or delete them off my application entirely. In this case, I've set up a couple of webhooks to be sent out to Slack upon various portions of my process when I run it on the development environment. So I'm going to request a simple deployment process to run on my environment and step through the application deployment wizard here. We're going to submit my process, and then we should see that a application or a webhook should be sent out to this Slack channel after the process actually succeeds. And you can see that when the process completed, we sent a message that is the actual resolved body of my process success webhook template. So this is what the body looks like. It's actually defining the payload that Slack should be able to understand and display. And then in Slack, it will look like this, where we're including information about our application, environment, process, and then metadata about the process, such as when it was requested and how long it took, what versions were involved in the deployment, and we can even have a link that will take us directly to the process execution log once I log in. And this is the process that we just executed. So as you can see, webhooks are a very extensible and powerful tool to enhance your deployment automation in Launch and really hook into all those external systems that you know and love.